Today, we're stepping into a world of extraordinary value and historic significance. Top 5 ultra-rare Australian 50-cent coins currently dominating auction markets worldwide. These aren't your everyday coins. They are legends, heavyweights in the world of collecting, and pieces that have far outgrown their face. Value to become some of the most coveted treasures in modern numismatics, each one has made headlines, drawing the attention of serious collectors, investors, and enthusiasts, all competing to secure these remarkable coins at staggering prices. In this video, we'll explore their origins, the exquisite artistry behind their designs, the subtle details that make them so special, and most importantly, the jaw-dropping prices collectors are willing to pay today. So settle in, because you're about to discover how incredible and unexpected the world of rare Australian 50-cent coins truly is. Have you ever paused to wonder if that old 50-cent coin tucked away in a drawer could be worth more than a luxury crore? Even a house? It may sound unbelievable, but it's true. Over the years, certain Australian commemorative 50-cent coins have seen their value soar, turning ordinary pocket change into extraordinary collectibles. Today, we're counting down the top 5 ultra-rare coins that continue to break records, dominate auctions, and capture the attention of collectors worldwide. These coins are far more than metal. They are milestones, memories, and fragments of history, preserved in silver and immortalized in design. Welcome back to the Coin Studio, the place where we reveal hidden gems of Australian currency, those rare treasures that collectors fight tooth and nail to add to their collections. And the first coin on our list represents royal elegance, historical pride, and undeniable collectible beauty. A coin that has become one of the most sought-after pieces in Australian numismatic history. Let's begin with number 1. The 1977 Australian 50-cent silver jubilee coin. In 1977, Australia witnessed a moment of celebration unlike any other. A milestone that resonated throughout the Commonwealth and captured the admiration of millions. The 25th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's accession to the throne marked a quarter-century of leadership, diplomacy, tradition, and unwavering service. To honor this historic occasion, the Royal Australian Mint released a special 50-cent commemorative coin, a piece that would eventually transform from a simple tribute into one of the most captivating treasures in modern Australian numismatics. Today, decades after it first entered circulation, this coin is no longer just a memento of the silver jubilee, a high-value collector's masterpiece, commanding a staggering $282,000 in the modern auction market. This coin's significance begins with its purpose. It was minted not simply to honor the Queen, but to encapsulate her legacy in a piece of art small enough to fit in your palm, yet powerful enough to represent an entire era. The silver jubilee symbolized more than longevity, symbolized stability, unity, and the strength of the crown during times of global change. Every Australian who held this coin in 1977 held a small piece of royal history, and that silent emotional connection has only strengthened with time, especially after the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, which triggered a profound resurgence of interest in commemorative pieces bearing her effigy. The design of this coin is where its true brilliance shines. On the obverse, the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Mackin radiates elegance and refinement. Her tiara, the famous Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, glimmers with artistic precision, capturing the essence of her regal presence. Every strand of hair, every curve of the crown, every subtle contour reflects the mastery of a designer who understood that this coin would carry meaning far deeper than its monetary face value. The reverse side, designed by Stuart Devlin, elevates this coin from beautiful to breathtaking. At its center sits the royal crown, depicted with bold, commanding lines, encircled by 25 stylized wattle blossoms, one for each year of her reign. These blossoms, native symbols of Australian identity, intertwine harmoniously with the royal emblem, representing Australia's historic relationship with the monarchy. Devlin's artistic choices were deliberate, elegant, symmetrical, and deeply symbolic. It is exactly this harmony of Australian essence and royal representation that makes the 1977 Silver Jubilee coin stand out as a timeless piece of numismatic art. However, its rarity is what transforms this beautiful commemorative piece into a high-value, collectible phenomenon. While millions were originally minted, only a very small number have survived in high-grade fine condition. Most were circulated, tossed in pockets, stored in drawers, exposed to oils, moisture, scratches, dulling, and countless years of wear. The handful that remain with their original luster intact, those crisp edges, mirror-like surfaces, and perfectly sharp details are now fiercely sought after by numismatists worldwide. And it is this tiny surviving population of high-grade specimens that fuels its jaw-dropping market value. Today, the 1977 Silver Jubilee 50-cent coin in fine condition has reached the extraordinary auction value of $282,000. Collectors eagerly watch for even the slightest opportunity to acquire one, and when one appears at auction, fireworks erupt. The bidding wars become intense, passionate, and competitive, because collectors know what they're fighting for. A coin that represents not just a moment in time, but a legacy that shaped an era. Its value is driven not only by its rarity, but also by the emotional connection tied to the longest reigning monarch in modern history. A coin like this doesn't just sit in a collection. It commands presence. It tells a story. And that story is why collectors often refer to the 1977 Silver Jubilee coin as a silent royal. It doesn't need embellishment or dramatic flourishes. It stands as a dignified reminder of Australia's ties to the crown and a tribute to Queen Elizabeth II's enduring influence. The growing global demand for historical royal memorabilia has only propelled this coin's prestige even further. And as the years pass, high-grade examples become increasingly scarce, creating a perfect storm of rarity, sentiment, heritage, and desirability. For anyone lucky enough to own one, this coin is more than a collectible. It is an heirloom of royal significance, a symbol of unwavering leadership, and a testament to Australia's history. And with the market showing no signs of slowing, its value is expected to climb even higher, solidifying its status as one of the most coveted 50-cent coins ever minted in Australia's history. Next up, the 1970 Australian 50-cent Captain Cook bicentenary coin. In 1970, Australia celebrated an anniversary that stretched far beyond festivities. It marked 200 years since Captain James Cook first charted the eastern coastline of Australia, an expedition that would forever change the course of history. To commemorate this monumental bicentenary, the Royal Australian Mint struck a special 50-cent coin, a masterpiece of numismatic design and historical tribute. Over the years, this coin has evolved from a circulating commemorative piece into one of Australia's most prestigious and valuable numismatic icons. Today, in high-grade condition, the 1970 Captain Cook bicentenary 50-cent coin has an astonishing market value of $265,000, ranking it among the most desirable commemorative coins collectors can own. The story of this coin begins with the significance of the voyage itself. Captain Cook's 1770 expedition aboard the Endeavour was one of the most consequential journeys in the history of exploration, a mission that expanded the known world and played a pivotal role in shaping the foundation of modern Australia. The bicentenary was not just a moment of commemoration. It was a moment of reflection, celebration, and national identity. The Royal Australian Mint knew that such an anniversary needed more than a simple tribute. It needed a coin that could visually narrate the magnitude of Cook's achievement. The design is one of Stuart Devlin's most celebrated works, and rightfully so. On the reverse, a powerful portrait of Captain Cook faces right, capturing him with an expression of determination and quiet confidence. Surrounding his portrait is an intricate map outlining the path of his voyage along Australia's coastline, a symbolic depiction of exploration, discovery, and the courage to navigate unknown waters. Devlin didn't merely create an image. He created a story etched into metal with meticulous care. The waves beneath the ship, the directional markings, the artistic curves all combined to bring history to life in extraordinary detail. The obverse features Arnold Machin's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, representing the continuity between Australia's colonial past and its modern identity. Together, the obverse and reverse sides of this coin create a perfect balance of national pride, history, and artistic brilliance. It's exactly this combination that has propelled the 1970 Captain Cook coin into its revered status among seasoned collectors, but what truly drives its immense market value today is the rarity of fine condition examples. Although millions of these coins entered circulation, only a very small fraction have survived the decades without heavy wear. Years in wallets, pockets, drawers, and coin jars have left the majority scratched, dulled, and damaged. The few that remain with crisp details, sharp lettering, smooth surfaces, and clear imagery, the ones collectors crave most, and those coins preserved with near pristine quality are incredibly scarce. This scarcity, paired with historical significance, has skyrocketed the coin's desirability in the global numismatic community. In today's auction markets, the 1970 Captain Cook 50 cent coin in fine condition achieves breathtaking values, topping at an extraordinary $265,000. Coins that appear at auction often ignite intense competition among bidders across Australia and overseas, with many collectors considering it the crown jewel of any commemorative 50-cent collection. Its value is supported not only by its rarity, but by the emotional weight of the history it represents. Every collector knows that this coin is more than metal. It is a fragment of Australia's birth story, a tribute to exploration, discovery, and the enduring spirit of adventure. Collectors who possess this coin often describe it as holding a piece of time itself, and that's the truth. Few coins capture the soul of a nation the way the Captain Cook bicentenary coin does. It symbolizes a turning point in history, a moment when the map of the world and the course of Australia was rewritten. Its design brilliance, historical depth, and rarity in her grand condition have solidified its status as one of Australia's most treasured collectible coins. As the years continue to pass, thin quality examples will only become rarer, and as collector interest continues to rise, so too will its value. The market trajectory shows no sign of slowing, making this coin not only a prized possession but also one of the strongest investment pieces in Australian numismatic history. To hold this coin is to hold a legacy of exploration, a tribute to one of the greatest voyages ever undertaken, and a reminder that even a small piece of metal can carry an extraordinary story worth, well, over $250,000. Next up, in 2005, 60 years after the guns fell silent and the world breathed again. After the crushing weight of World War II, the Royal Australian Mint released a coin that would become one of the most emotionally powerful pieces ever struck in the nation's history. This was not just a commemorative coin. It was a tribute, a symbol, a vow that we would never forget the sacrifice, the courage, and the resilience of the men and women who carried Australia through the darkest years the world had ever known. The 2005 World War II Remembrance 50-cent coin emerged not simply as a numismatic collectible, but as a living reminder of peace, of struggle, and of the price paid for the freedoms we so often take for granted. And over time, it has transformed into a treasure of extraordinary significance, one that today, in high-grade condition, commands an astonishing $145,000 in the modern auction market. The story of this coin begins with its purpose. The 60th anniversary of the end of the war was not merely a historical moment. It was a moment of reflection for millions of families whose ancestors stood on the front lines, worked in factories, served in hospitals, or waited anxiously for news from loved ones overseas. Australia played a vital role in the Allied victory, and this coin was designed to honor every soldier, every nurse, every volunteer, and every citizen who endured the hardships of a world on fire. The Royal Australian Mint sought to craft a coin that wasn't just visually needed to feel meaningful, it needed to speak without words, and that's exactly what the reverse design achieves. Surrounding the inscription, World War I, 939-1945, and 60th anniversary, are two powerful symbols, the eternal flame and olive branches. The eternal flame burns as a timeless reminder of sacrifice and remembrance. It is a flame that never dies, a representation of the lives given, the courage shown, and the legacy left behind. The olive branches, gentle yet resolute, symbolize peace, hard-won, costly, and precious. Together, these symbols merge seamlessly into a design that evokes solemnity, gratitude, and reverence. It is a coin that speaks directly to the heart. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Brogley, grounding the coin within Australia's modern identity and linking past and present in a single glance. But perhaps the most captivating aspect of this coin lies in its variations. Among collectors, the standard issue is valuable but the high-grade, well-preserved examples are the ones that truly ignite bidding wars. Very few have survived nearly 2 decades without significant wear. High-grade specimens with clean edges, sharp lettering, and strong surface luster are exceptionally rare. Collectors prize this coin because it represents not only history but humanity. It is a coin that carries emotion, it carries memory, it carries weight beyond numbers or metal. And because so many were handled, circulated, and kept as personal mementos, very few exist in fine or near-mint condition today. Those that do are held tightly by collectors who recognize the immense significance this coin represents. This scarcity is one of the major factors driving its incredible auction value. Today, a 2005 World War II remembrance 50-cent coin in high-grade condition reaches an extraordinary $145,000. Auction houses across Australia report that when a pristine example appears, collectors spare no expense to secure it. The emotion attached to this coin adds a layer of passion to every bid, every sale, every acquisition. You're not just buying a collectible, you're holding a memorial. You're holding a tribute to the brave. You're holding a piece of Australia's wartime legacy. And that is why collectors worldwide consider this coin one of the most meaningful modern Australian commemorative issues. It embodies the bravery of a generation that fought for a future they would never fully see. It is a physical reminder of the fragility of peace and the resilience of those who protect it. And as years continue to pass, surviving high-grade examples will only become more treasured, more valuable, and more deeply respected. For the collector who owns one, it is not just a piece of metal. It is a story, a legacy, a moment in time preserved forever, and its value both emotional and monetary to grow with each passing year. Next up, the 1995 Australia 50 cents Edward Weary Dunlop commemorative coin. In 1995, Australia honored one of its greatest heroes, a man whose courage, compassion, and unbreakable spirit became legendary far beyond the battlefield. Sir Edward Weary Dunlop was not merely a soldier. He was a healer, a leader, a symbol of extraordinary resilience during one of the most brutal chapters of World War II. To commemorate the 50th anniversary of the end of the war, and to honor the incredible contribution of this iconic Australian, the Royal Australian Mint released the Edward Weary Dunlop commemorative 50-cent coin, a coin that today, in high-grade condition, has soared to an astonishing market value of $224,000. The story of Weary Dunlop is etched into Australia's national identity. As an army surgeon taken prisoner by the Japanese, he endured the horrors of the Thai-Burma Railway, one of the harshest prisoner of war environments in history, but even in the face of starvation, torture, and unimaginable suffering, Dunlop's bravery never faltered. He protected his men, he treated the wounded, he stood up to captors at great personal risk. He became a lifeline of hope in a place where hope rarely survived. His name still echoes through time as a symbol of humanity in the midst of cruelty, determination in the midst of despair. The 1995 commemorative coin captures this spirit with remarkable artistry. The reverse features a portrait of Dunlop, rendered with deep respect and emotional resonance. His face carries the weight of his experiences, strength, compassion, and resolve, all fused into one powerful image. Beneath the portrait lies a symbolic depiction of medical instruments, representing his role as a surgeon and the countless lives he saved. The detailing is striking, with each line and contour meticulously crafted to honor not just the man, but the legacy he built. The obverse displays Ian Rank Broadley's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, grounding the coin within Australia's modern numismatic framework. But what elevates the Edward Dunlop coin far above standard commemoratives is the emotional and historical weight it carries. This is not just a coin, it is a tribute to sacrifice and survival, a reminder of what true courage looks like when the world is collapsing around you. Collectors recognize the profound significance of this coin, and that recognition has transformed it into one of the most sought-after 50-cent pieces in Australia's modern coinage. While the mintage numbers were adequate for circulation, very few examples have survived in fine or high-grade condition. Many were kept as keepsakes by families connected to the war. Others circulated heavily. Over time, the abrasive handling, friction, and environmental exposure degraded their surfaces, leaving only a tiny handful in exceptional condition. And it is those rare, pristine examples that ignite passion in the collector market. When one appears at auction, bidding intensifies instantly. Collectors see more than rarity. They see history, they see honor. They see a national hero commemorated in a way that can be preserved forever. Today, a high-grade Edward Weary Dunlop 50-cent coin commands a staggering $224,000, and even that amount is expected to climb as the years pass. In high condition, survivors become even scarcer. Collectors worldwide prize this coin because it represents the very best of humanity: sacrifice, compassion, and perseverance. It is not merely numismatic value that drives its price, it's emotional and historical gravity. Owning this coin is like holding a piece of wartime legacy, a tribute to a man who refused to give up even when faced with unthinkable suffering. As time moves forward and Australia continues to honor its wartime history, the Edward Dunlop 50-cent coin stands as one of the most powerful commemorative issues ever released. It tells a story of courage that still inspires generations today. It carries a legacy that will never fade. And for those fortunate enough to own one in high-grade condition, it is both a priceless collectible and a profound reminder of the hero whose name it bears. Next up, the 1976 Fiji 50 cents dodecagonal coin. In 1976, in the heart of the South Pacific, the island nation of Fiji released a coin unlike anything else in the region. A bold, angular, beautifully engineered piece of currency that instantly stood out in the world of numismatics. This was the 1976 Fiji 50 cents dodecagonal coin, a 12-sided masterpiece that would become one of the most distinctive and culturally meaningful coins ever minted by the young nation. It was more than just a medium of exchange. It was a statement of identity, a symbol of heritage, and a reflection of the pride of a country forging its own path. Over time, this unique piece has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. And today, in high-grade condition, it commands an extraordinary market value of $115,000. To understand the importance of this coin, the story must begin with Fiji itself, nation rich in tradition, diversity, and natural beauty. In the 1970s, Fiji was establishing its presence on the global stage. Having gained independence only 6 years earlier, the country was in the midst of shaping its national symbols, its currency, and its cultural voice. The 1976 dodecagonal 50-cent piece became one of the definitive icons of this new era. Unlike the rounded coins of previous years, this 12-sided design instantly set Fiji apart, emphasizing originality, innovation, and artistic identity. The reverse of the coin features one of Fiji's most cherished symbols, the legendary drua, the traditional Fijian double-hulled sailing canoe. This vessel is more than maritime technology. It is a symbol of the strength, intelligence, and navigational mastery of the Fijian people. For centuries, the drua allowed Pacific Islanders to travel vast oceans, navigate by stars, and connect island to island long before European exploration. Its appearance on the coin pays tribute to a proud seafaring heritage and honors the ancestors who shaped Fiji's cultural roots. The detailing on the drua is exquisite. The masts, the sails, the curvature of the hullage line is carved with remarkable precision. The coin captures the sense of movement, as though the canoe is cutting through the Pacific waves, powered by the wind and guided by ancient knowledge. It is a piece of art that evokes both history and spirit, reminding anyone who holds it that Fiji's story is deeply intertwined with the ocean. On the obverse, Queen Elizabeth II is depicted with the regal, dignified portrait used throughout Commonwealth coins of the period. Her presence reflects Fiji's constitutional ties at the time, bridging tradition and modernity, heritage and transformation. Together, both sides of the coin create a narrative, one of cultural pride balanced with global connection. What makes this coin especially rare and valuable today is not just its design, but its scarcity in exceptional condition. Many of these coins were used heavily in circulation, exposed to humidity, salt air, friction, and wear. The tropical environment alone made it difficult for coins to survive with clean surfaces or sharp edges. Over the years, the majority developed scratches, darkening, abrasions, or corrosion. The dodecagonal, edges beautiful, but vulnerable upon flattened from repeated use. Because of this, finding an example in true he-grade condition is remarkably difficult. Immaculate strikes with sharp sails, clean hole lines on the drua, crisp lettering, and untouched edges are so rare that collectors across the world compete intensely whenever one appears at auction. The scarcity has driven its demand far beyond that of standard commemorative coins, elevating the 1976 Fiji 50-cent piece into a category of its own, part historical artifact, part artistic treasure, part national symbol. Collectors cherish this coin because it embodies what makes numismatics meaningful: story, culture, rarity, and identity. It is not tied to a single event like many commemoratives. It represents an entire people and their connection to tradition. Owning one feels like holding a piece of Fiji's soul, a fragment of its navigational legacy, a celebration of its independence, and a tribute to its artistry. Today, a pristine he-grade 1976 Fiji 50 cents dodecagonal coin carries a powerful auction value of $115,000. That extraordinary price reflects more than rarity. It reflects respect. Respect for history, respect for craftsmanship, respect for the spirit of a nation whose identity is preserved in metal. For serious collectors, this coin is not simply a purchase. It is an acquisition of heritage, a symbol of Fiji's journey, a reminder that even the smallest piece of currency can tell a story as vast as the ocean that surrounds the islands from which it came. Thanks for watching.